So the closet Bengals fan, Nick Wright, who for some reason over this last period of time completely has changed his perspective on the Bengals. Went from being our biggest hater to one of our biggest supporters. Well, he predicted the AFC North. And he has the AFC North being the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, and the SKYLERs. And he had a message to Mike Brown. He said, this is a massive year for the Bengals. But Mike Brown is going to Mike Brown. Just because you lucked into Joe Burrow and paid him, and he does also mention how he had to sell the name and the rights of the Bengals to do so, doesn't mean you change your stripes. This is your moment. Now, kind of continuing off of that and giving more context, he says that after this season, we're not going to be a championship team or a very competitive team because of the fact that we won't be paying Jamar Chase, we won't be paying T. Higgins, we won't be paying all these guys, and that pretty much we're going to self-destruct. That's really what Nick is saying here. And to be honest, if Mike Brown had all the control, that's a potential. That's a potential. Because I love Mike, but he is very stubborn. He is very much in his ways and how he goes about things. Is that he does what he wants to do, and was known for that for so freaking long. But as of recently, over the last 20 years, that is no longer Mike Brown's. He no longer has the ability here to control all this, right? And where I disagree greatly with Nick Wright here is actually coming from the horse's mouth here, Mike Brown. Mike Brown did say we will bend over backwards for Jamar Chase. We will bend over backwards to sign into a new contract and make sure he's happy with our squad and happy on our team. And keep that in mind that yes, the Jamar Chase situation is going on right now and it's kind of loomy, it's kind of weird, it's kind of situation is kind of iffy. But at the end of the day, we're going to pay him. I think a little bit, and kind of piggybacking off of Bill Belichick when he said this on, I think it was Pat McAfee's show, is the fact I think there is a principle of paying guys when they have 2 years left on their contract and not setting that principle for, other players as well. We have 2 years left on Jamar Chase's contract. He has no choice but to play. And also, for the narrative out there that Chase is getting paid $1 million this year, and I will admit, I messed up myself because I kind of ate into that narrative because the fact that ESPN literally made a video yesterday talking about the fact that Chase is only getting paid $1 million. Every other news source talks about it, but reality-wise, he's not. Reality-wise, he's getting paid $1 million base salary plus the signing bonus. So he's making $9.8 million this year. There's again, like I said, a lot of he's making $1 million. That's simply not the fact. He's making $9.8 million. It's still, nothing compared to what he should be making as a top 5 receiver. But at the end of the day, listen, right? I am fully on the train of saying, pay Jamar Chase. Give him his money. Let's get this over with because the contract's only going to go up. But I'm also on the aspect and how I feel, and maybe I'm kind of old school with this, you signed a contract, you play your contract. So that's what I'm always kind of iffy about it. Now, if you're in the last year of your contract, I understand. Let's say, you're on contract year and you're like, hey, man, I want to get signed because I want, number one, longevity. I want to know that I can trust that this is going to be a team that wants me for the foreseeable future. Like T. Higgins situation, right? And I got to give T a lot of credit for playing. But if you're in the last year of contract and you're like, hey, I just want to sign so I know that like this team's gonna want me for the foreseeable future, I'm absolutely okay with you maybe being a little bit more of a, hey, you know, I don't want to play until I get signed, right? But with Jamar Chase situation, again, I say pay him right now, get it over with. But it's also like you have 2 years left in your contract. You have 3 franchise tags we could technically use. At this moment in time, you know, the owners already came out and said we're going to bend over backwards to get a contract done with you. You know we will get a contract done with you. You're a top 5 receiver in the NFL. You're going to get paid. I don't know. It's a mess situation. And then yesterday he doesn't show up to practice. He makes, you know, Zach Taylor look like a fool. Zach Taylor doesn't end up week 1 now. We don't know if Jamar Chase is playing because Zach Taylor even said himself that he has to put his foot in his mouth now and he can't really give any updates because, he could be absolutely wrong. You know, the communication clearly isn't there. But outside of Jamar Chase situation, nothing else in this team, I think, would fall apart. Because let's say, for example, we didn't pay Jamar Chase this year. Does that change us moving forward as a team? No. Nothing about the rest of this year is going to change if we don't pay Jamar Chase. After this year, we're going to have to pay T. Higgins. If we don't, he leaves. Is that going to cause us to collapse like Nick Wright said here and not be able to compete on a championship level? The answer to that is, again, in this sounding, absolutely no. That doesn't change anything. If we can't, you know, pay, for example, T. Higgins and he leaves us, we have Yoshi. We drafted Yoshi to be that replacement. We have Jermaine Burton to be that replacement. This is actually, ironically enough, to counter Nick Wright's point here, this is why you get guys like that. This is why you have to. Like, I get it, and it's the idea of being able to keep, you know, T. Higgins and keep Jamar Chase and keep every single player you want on your team. That is an absolute, you know, miracle. That is something, that's like a dream, right? That is a dream idea. But the fact is, you can't do that. The fact is, you can't have that happen, right? In reality, you're going to have to give up somebody because you can't pay 2 wide receivers a huge chunk of your salary cap and your quarterback. You just can't. You can't run a team like that. The way you have to build a team is by, you're going to have a star playmaking quarterback. You're going to pay a lot of money. Then you're going to maybe pay 1 wide receiver big boy money. Maybe a running back big boy money. Running back's not as much, obviously. Maybe an offensive lineman big boy money. But you can't pay every single player big boy money. At some point, if you want to be a championship team, you have to start paying players, or start developing players to be great. The Chiefs have done it. You know, look at the Chiefs wide receiving core. They don't have a $50 million plus player. They don't. They have the tight end that's very good, but outside the tight end, they don't have a $50 million plus player. I mean, the tight end isn't. And that's the way you have to win in the NFL. You have to develop. You have to, you know, kind of get the next guy up. Okay, well, we just had this guy. Okay, well, now we have to get the next guy. And to be honest, we have that. And I think overall wise, in this video, Nick Wright does a disservice. He doesn't really give us the credit we deserve on that we have players like Yoshi. We have players like Jermaine Burton. And obviously right now, Jermaine Burton's a rookie, but Yoshi, I think all of us and everyone watching this video can 100% say that they feel confident that Yoshi maybe is not going to be 100% T. Higgins, but we can at least say that he's going to be 30 to 40, maybe up to 60, 70%. I'm going to go on a limb here and say right now, Yoshi is 70% the receiver that T can be when fully healthy. I'm not saying he's a replacement 100% for T right now, but I think in his second year, he's already at least 60 to 70%. And that's how you continue to be great. You continue to be great by developing these guys. Because you can't pay everyone. You know, we lost DJ Reader. He cost too much money according to what we wanted to pay him. We got Chris Jenkins. The Mutant is going to develop. The Mutant is going to get better. The Mutant is going to be an absolute monster. If he can develop into 90% of what DJ Reader is, we won big time. And we're paying him a crap ton less, and he's on a 4-year contract. Amarius Mims. If he can develop into better than Jonah Williams was, because we lost Jonah and we got him, we have him on a 4-year, 5th-year option contract. This is how you have to team build. This is how you have to develop your team. So, well, again, like I said, listen, it sucks. It does suck losing players. I hated losing Jesse Bates. I hated losing Von Bell. We got him back, obviously. I hated losing, DJ Reader, Cheeto, all these guys. This is a part of the business. This is a part of the industry. This is a part of everything. So again, I disagree that after this year, we won't be competitive if we don't pay T. Higgins, we lose T. I don't think we're going to be not competitive if we don't pay Jamar Chase this year. Because at the end of the day, Jamar Chase can't do anything but play. And that's just the fact of the matter is. Okay? And again, I'm always torn because I understand Chase. And I just want to pay Chase to get it over with so that we don't have to worry about this down the road. But for whatever reason, they feel like it's best not to pay him right now. I can't say I agree with that because, again, like I said, I don't. But I'm not the Bengals. You know, I'm not getting paid millions of dollars to make these decisions for them. And as a fan point of view, I'm going to say, yeah, pay him right now. Pay him, get it over with. The salary cap will only go up. For whatever reason, they feel like that's not the best thing to do. And at the end of the day, it's not like they're not going to pay him because Mike Brown's already said they're going to pay him. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Definitely, I'm interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything. I think we're going to win the AFC North 100%. But I think we're in a better situation right now than a lot of people realize. And I think a lot of people want to look at a situation and point out all the negatives. Jamar Chase isn't paid. T. Higgins on contract here. Right? They just want to point out these negatives. And what they don't realize is what we're building behind that. We are building a very, very good unit behind all these negatives that they're pointing out. Guys, make sure to hit the like button, though, if you do enjoy this video. Smash that like button. It does help out the channel, and it helps out get my videos out there to different people. And a lot more people see it. So I appreciate if you smash that like button. If you'd like to share my video on Twitter or whatever your social media platform is, I do appreciate it. And also, guys, as always, remember, it's Who Day. Who Day every day. Who Day is a lifestyle. Who Day is me. Who Day is you. We bleed orange and black. Who Day!